Ancient Egypt has always been surrounded by an air of grandeur and mystery. Behind the pyramids and the grand temples, there existed a more personal world filled with love, alliances, and the quiet politics of the heart. Pharaohs were worshipped as divine rulers chosen by the gods, but they were also people whose private lives could influence the destiny of a kingdom. Their choices in love and loyalty sometimes had as much impact as their orders in war or governance. To truly understand these rulers, one must look beyond their thrones and into the private rooms where emotions shaped history. In the earliest dynasties, love was closely tied to duty. Marriages were arranged not only for companionship, but to protect the royal bloodline and strengthen the ruler's claim to divine authority. Many pharaohs married within their own family, believing it preserved the sacred connection between the gods and the crown. A queen was more than a partner. She was a symbol of harmony and a guarantee of the gods' continued blessings. These unions were personal and sacred, yet also political at their core. Romantic life in the palace followed strict customs. Courting took place in lush gardens, scented with lotus flowers, or on terraces overlooking the Nile, where soft music played on harps and flutes. These moments allowed the ruler a rare escape from public duty, though attendants were never far away. Every small act, offering a flower, sharing a quiet word, held symbolic meaning. Love was not only a private matter, but also an expression of religious belief and statecraft. Some rulers left behind clear signs of affection for their partners. One pharaoh built a garden pavilion filled with rare flowers just for his queen to enjoy from her private quarters. Another had a necklace of gold and lapis lazuli crafted to tell the story of their bond. Such acts revealed personal devotion, but also served to project the image of a caring and stable ruler, one whose prosperity reflected the stability of his home. Royal romance, however, was not always peaceful. Jealousies, rivalries, and changes in fortune could quickly shift the balance of power in the palace. A queen could lose her position if she failed to produce an heir, while a concubine might rise to queen through the pharaoh's favor. Every gain or loss in affection could spark political ripples throughout the court, as alliances formed and dissolved in response. The palaces of Thebes and Memphis were as much emotional stages as they were centers of governance. Behind closed doors, the ruler weighed personal feelings alongside decisions of war, trade, and diplomacy. Official records left out these emotions, yet fragments of poetry and private letters survive, hinting at moments of generosity, longing, and sometimes vengeance. These glimpses remind us that even the most powerful were shaped by the same human needs as their subjects. Inscriptions from the reign of Djoser show an unusual closeness to his queen, Hetepernebti. One stone relief shows them sitting side by side, their hands almost touching, a rare gesture in royal art. This small detail spoke volumes about their relationship in a time when public displays of affection between royals were carefully controlled. Centuries later, Amenhotep III shared a remarkable partnership with Queen Tiye, a woman of non-royal birth who rose to become one of the most influential figures in the court. She received honors, statues, and even her own palace, and foreign rulers addressed her directly in diplomatic letters. Their union was a display of shared authority and mutual respect, helping to secure Egypt's prosperity during his reign. The story of Akhenaten and Nefertiti is remembered for both love and upheaval. Their reign saw a dramatic religious shift toward the worship of the Aten. They were shown together in tender family scenes, unlike any other royal portraits of the time. Yet their affection unfolded in a period of political resistance, isolation, and tension. In their case, love and reform were inseparable, and both came with consequences. Many pharaohs had more than one partner, creating complex alliances within the harem. This was not merely a place of indulgence, but a political arena where beauty, charm, and the ability to bear heirs could determine a family's fortunes. At times, rivalries turned dangerous. In one infamous case, a secondary wife of Ramesses III conspired to place her son on the throne, leading to a plot that shook the palace. Royal marriages to foreign princesses were grand symbols of peace and unity between nations. These unions were celebrated in public ceremonies, but behind the scenes, they could be strained by cultural differences and political pressure. A foreign-born queen had to adapt quickly, learn the customs, and earn the loyalty of the court, while representing her homeland's interests. The Nile itself was often part of royal romance. Pharaohs and their queens traveled in gilded boats along its waters, greeted by temples and villages on the banks. Festivals sometimes featured the couple together, offering thanks for the year's harvest. These moments were more than pageantry. They reinforced the image of a united royal household and the belief that the prosperity of the land reflected the harmony of its rulers. Tombs and hidden inscriptions suggest that some royal romances were kept secret. Weathered carvings hint at affairs outside the expected boundaries, recorded only in poetry or art, hidden from public view. These fragments reveal that love in the palace could be unpredictable, driven by the same desires and risks that affected ordinary people. The reign of Hatshepsut offers one of the most debated examples. While official records focus on her achievements as pharaoh, her chief advisor, Senenmut, appears in unusual places for a non-royal, his name carved in hidden corners of her temple. Whether theirs was a professional bond or something deeper remains uncertain, but his prominence suggests a closeness that defied normal court customs. Affection in the palace could be as dangerous as it was inspiring. A single gift, a quiet word, or even a glance could shift loyalties and change the balance of power. In such a charged environment, every emotional connection carried potential political consequences. The language of love often appeared in art through symbols and arrangement. A lotus could signal affection. A hunting scene might represent pursuit, and the position of figures in a carving could reveal favor or neglect. By studying these details, modern researchers uncover moments that official histories left unspoken. Foreign visitors often brought gifts meant for the queen, hoping to win influence through her. Such offerings could strengthen alliances or alter political outcomes, showing the queen's power as both partner to the ruler and mediator in matters of state. Not all royal romances ended well. History records stories of queens removed from power, erased from monuments, or quietly replaced. These actions were not only personal, but also political, erasing influence from the record as if it had never existed. Ramesses II and Nefertari remain one of Egypt's most admired royal couples. Her temple stands beside his at Abu Simbel, an honor almost unheard of for a queen. Inscriptions praise her beauty and wisdom, ensuring their bond would be remembered for centuries. Thutmose III and Queen Satya shared a quieter legacy. Her role during a politically sensitive period helped smooth the transition after Hatshepsut's reign. Her presence in official ceremonies and inscriptions speaks to the trust and respect she earned. In many cases, royal love stories became legends, used to strengthen the image of the pharaoh as a wise and devoted leader. Public displays of harmony reassured the people that their rulers' personal and political lives were in balance, reflecting stability for the entire nation. Even centuries later, the personal lives of these rulers continue to intrigue. Archaeologists uncover jewelry, letters, and carvings that show affection, alliances, and private moments. These finds remind us that power was always intertwined with personal connection. Much has been lost to time, but enough remains to suggest that love shaped Egypt's history as much as war or politics did. These relationships inspired great acts, but they could also bring risk and downfall. The evidence in tombs, amulets, offerings, and carvings of couples in the afterlife speaks to the desire for these bonds to last forever. The fascination with these stories comes from their timeless emotions: love, ambition, jealousy, and loyalty. Though they lived in a world of divine kingship, the pharaohs experienced the same longings and vulnerabilities as anyone else. In the end, the private lives of Egypt's rulers show that history is shaped as much by the heart as by the sword. Their relationships influenced decisions, inspired monuments, and left marks that time could not erase. Behind the grandeur and ceremony were people whose love stories still echo through the centuries.